to get the truth out on what like and get the truth out on what really lights you up. So you think, how does this golf pro go from there to there? Like, it's like, so through my beautiful and wonderful, blessed life of golf, I've got to meet an amazing amount of human beings. And I mean, there really are good humans out there. And I generally believe that people want to do the right thing and are good and kind. And I've been blessed to be able to do that, but I've also met the very nefarious ones as well. So it's been a very enlightening journey for me. And through this real life world, as being out there on these beautiful fairways, I've also, of course, been introduced to this online world. And I'm a big, as an ex-professional athlete, basically. I've always been into health and wellness. So I have been doing everything the alternative way. And when I say alternative, I don't like to use that word because, how is God's way alternative? I'm really confused about that. God made everything perfect. He made the planet perfect. He made us perfect. He did everything perfect. And then man decided he was so much smarter. Not that I'm putting a lot of the discoveries down. I'm just saying that I really am very open to finding the best way to take care of this body and my family. So I turned to online because I noticed that a lot of products that were being pushed on us were not the best way. And I learned a lot of this, this is not from me. I learned a lot of this from my mother. My mother has worked in the cancer agency for almost like 4 or 5 decades. She's seen a lot. And she's an avid researcher. This is like a woman who gets an idea and it's like a dog with a bone. It's unbelievable. She doesn't stop and she keeps digging. She's dug into education. She's dug into health. She's dug into wellness. She's dug into everything you can imagine. She also has a very interesting backside too, as well, is that she's also very fascinated by the esoteric realm as well. So I know Jane would be very interested in that. So she has this amazing science background and she's got this amazing kind of spiritual background and she's married the two. And through this journey, I guess through osmosis, I've learned to be very much more open and open mind, open heart. And it's taken a long time to do that because I was very closed. You get very jaded, as you go on your journeys. But anywho, I explain this to you because I went into the online space, and through the online space, I got to, get introduced to a lot of fascinating products and a lot of fascinating people and a lot of people with a lot of passion. And that's how it led me into the financial world, of course, because I started to see the way wealthy people did things differently. And then I started to see how online marketers do things differently. And so I started to marry and I wanted to investigate more. So my husband and I are serial entrepreneurs. We've owned all kinds of companies. So nothing scares us. We're willing to throw anything up against the wall. You just never know what's going to stick. And sometimes probably maybe too much of gamblers, but we're willing to take that risk. And that's just us. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't, suggest anybody do anything. This is just the way I roll, as they say, my husband and I. So we tend to be a little higher risk investors. We enjoy taking chances. That's what life is about. Life is about experiences. And so that's the way we like to do things. So on this journey, just as recently, of course, I got into Noble Goldman, which I absolutely adore because when you surround yourself with really top-notch people, and I don't mean that intellectually, I mean that here, when you surround yourself with people that, come from the heart, a whole new world opens up to you and different opportunities. And that's the biggest thing, is being able to know that you can be around people that you can trust. And so through that journey, it has led me into this wonderful world of gold and silver. And my mom, once again, who listens to their mom? What do they know? She's been collecting gold and silver for about 15 years. And she told us to collect it a long time ago. And I was just like, oh, for heaven's sakes, Mom, because this girl 6 years ago was all about crypto. So I've always been a little bit ahead of the crowd when it comes to different, again, because we're risk takers. But my viewpoint on crypto has changed a little bit. Now, not that I don't believe in it, because I do. Blockchain technology is amazing, but it is very complicated and it's very volatile. So if you're okay with that, then not a problem. The issue is that if you don't know who's behind the technology or whatever it is you're going into, then you're really risking. So when it comes to high risk projects, we'll call them projects, I don't put a lot of money into the high risk projects. If I know all the details of the project and who's behind the project and all the connections of the project, then I tend to put a little bit more into it. And that's where I come in with gold and silver. Gold and silver is something that we've never shared with anybody. If you've noticed, has anybody ever been educated in it? I haven't been educated in it, right? Nobody's been educated in it because it's been the secret of the banks, the secrets of the government, and the secrets of the wealth. Isn't that interesting, right? That they don't share that with us. So now this new company has realized that, and they're trying to bring education to the average person. Not that you're not all average. I'm not saying that you're average. You're beyond average. But I'm talking about when it comes to financial education, they're really trying to educate the people who have been kept away from this knowledge. And it's interesting because when it comes to gold and silver, it really is the only thing that has kept its store of value for decades, not even decades, thousands of years. Remember, it was here when God made the planet. And it's going to be here when Toni leaves the planet. So the point is that I don't know how many of you know what the word fiat means? Does anybody know what the word fiat means? Awesome. Awesome. I know that Rini knows because she knows I've said it a couple times. Thank you, Rini. Fiat, you'll love this, in Latin means currency by force. And isn't that interesting how they're always trying to force us into certain systems? And one of those certain systems is save your fiat and invest your fiat and get it in the bank and keep saving. Have you noticed that your buying power with fiat has slowly gone down, 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 down for a very, very long time? Your buying power, and a lot of people don't understand this, your buying power for $1 now is less than 3 cents. How scary is that? So why are we saving fiat if it's just going? But that's how we're programmed, right? To keep saving. A gold, and here's another question I want to ask everybody. How many of you have held a gold or silver coin? Anybody? Anybody held a gold? Oh, way to go, Val. Val, have you got some? Do you have some gold and silver? Atta girl.
American Golden Eagle.
Woohoo! Right on. Doesn't it feel good?
Oh, it's
right.
It's so ancient. You know, it is. There you are. So ancient. And they're beautiful to look at, you know.
They are so, and they feel so good. You can just feel there's just something very spiritual about them as compared to, like, you know, the floppy, you know, $1 US. Well, in our case, we have what we call a loonie in Canada, but it looks like this, but it's not the same. But this is something that a lot of people don't understand. This 1 ounce gold coin buys you the same thing it did 2,000 years ago. So what you can buy with this 2,000 years ago, you can buy that same amount of goods now. The dollar, not so much. Not so much. So I'll give you an example. So an example would be this silver American Eagle, okay, in 1965. Okay, in 1965, if you had, this was worth $1. It was actually 1 ounce of silver was $1. This minted one American was $1. Okay, and then if you had 100, if you had a $1 US dollar bill. I don't know if I have one. Maybe I've got a US dollar bill. No, I don't have a US dollar bill. So, if you had 25, so if you had of these 1965 and 2,500 US dollar bills, you could buy yourself a 1965 Ford Mustang. Isn't that cool? This same 2,500 pieces today would buy you 2 Ford Mustangs. Your $2,500 US wouldn't even buy you the tires. So and this is what people don't understand. They don't understand the difference between, it's really about buying power. And I put it in the perspective that for those of you that are old enough, and I remember this, is that it was weird when 2 parents had to start working. It was really, really weird when why did 2 parents have to start working? Because their buying power was getting weaker. Their buying power was getting weaker. So to stay ahead, they needed more money to come in, right? And that's all it's based on. It's all based on the store of value, and our buying power with the fiat currency is going down. And why is that happening? Because when governments no longer have what they call discipline, start printing like crazy. Okay, so for those of you who live in the US, the amount of money that's been printed, okay, and this was even shocked me, all the money that has been printed in fiat currency in the US dollars, okay, in the last 18 months, it's the circulation, the money that's in circulation, all the printed money in the history of the US government, 40% of it has been printed in the last 18 months. 40%. Okay. No more discipline. So what I was going to do, if it's okay with you, Rini, I was going to share a 9-minute video about the difference between currency and the difference between money. They call it fake and real. The only real money is God's money. We call this God's money. They call it sound money, but this is the only real money in the world. Everything else is called currency. It's not money. So the dollar is not money. The dollar is just something that they tell you what the value is. Okay, they tell you what the value is, but it's a forced value and it has no value. Okay, this is the only store of value and it's never changed. So again, it's all
has
like
a question, Toni.
Oh, sorry, Kasia, go ahead.
Oh, no worries, no worries. You are on the roll, so I understand. No worries. I just wanted to say that Veronica is here on the call, so she's from Europe, from the UK. So we I think this conversation also relates to the fiat money, to pounds in England as well.
Yes, fiat is anything to do with government printed issue currency, whether it's a pound, a won, a yen, a loonie, makes no difference. Sterling, okay, francs, it's whatever a government has issued and is considered to be currency. Okay, so that's basically what it's referring to. Thank you, Kasia. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Do I have sharing capabilities, Rini? I don't know. Let's see. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. Oh, okay.
Let me allow you to share if you can.
Okay, thank you. This is a really, really good video to understand the difference between fake and real. I think you'll really enjoy it. It's very clear. And the more I watch it, there's even more fog that gets lifted.
You're now host.
Thank you. Yeah, okay, so we're going to go to, what is this one? Okay. And I'm going to go to, here we go. Here it is. Let me know if you all can see this. Can you all see that?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
In 2008, the world was given a wake-up call. The biggest financial crash in human history was delayed by the same poor decisions that brought it about in the first place. What that massive bailout bought us was not a solution, but merely time. Time for the people responsible to wring the last few dollars out of a dying system. But also, for those able to see the cliff edge approaching, time to protect themselves and their families from the imminent plunge. And in the end, that time may prove to be the most valuable commodity of all.
There are these brief moments in history where the safe haven asset for the last 5,000 years simultaneously becomes the asset class that has the greatest single potential gains in purchasing power. We're in one of these cycles right now where money is the best investment. Get out of currency, buy money, and you're probably going to be able to buy a whole lot more stuff later. But the best thing that people can do of all is really to take on their own responsibility for getting finance. This is the most important thing. Don't let other people get all of your decisions. Find out what's going on. Power yourself.
Tony, did you share sound on your computer? Sorry to interrupt here, but
Yes. Everybody not hear it?
is that my connection only, or can everybody else hear it? But it's
I could hear it, yeah.
you
I
could?
could
Okay.
hear it.
Okay, it's my thing then. No worries. Sorry.
I think I don't know where Toni is. She dropped off.
Yeah, if she had a low band width on hers, it came up.
Yeah, I think she's having internet connection issue. She'll come back. She'll reconnect
yeah.
soon.
And sharing a video on Zoom when you have a low band internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It-
probably what happened. Yeah. Yeah. That's why probably you can't.
Maybe when
It
she
brings me
comes,
back to being in elementary school when they had those big sound projectors. And the sound projector would fall apart and it's like, oh, okay. The sound would start to fade out, then the picture, and it's like, all right.
She should have sent it to me, huh? For me to play it, huh? I don't know.
when
Not now.
when she comes back, maybe she can put the link in the chat of this particular video that we could watch on our.
Right.
Oh yeah. That's true.
Mhm.
Because it
Or
sounds
just-
very interesting.
Yes.
It is. It is interesting. Just give her a few more minutes here.
Yeah. Is she moving out of Canada or into Canada?
I think into Canada, and I think she's moving from Oregon to British Columbia.
She's in Canada. She's in British Columbia, and she just recently moved her mother-in-law from one side of Canada to British Columbia, and she's moving from one place right now in British Columbia to another place in British Columbia.
Oh wow,
Oh,
that's a lot of work.
yes.
I will check if I can play that video from my computer. I don't know which.
Do you
I
want
just
me
need
to
to go.
allow you to be the host, Kasha?
Just give me a second. I need to start my computer to see if I can log into the system and see if I can find this video that she was playing. So just give me a second. I'm sure she's gonna be back as soon her internet will get better.
Yeah, I just got a message. She said, lost everyone.
There she is.
Was that me? Was that me or you?
No, it
That
was
was
you.
you.
And
You're
know,
the only
Toni,
one
when you
disappeared.
and
Wow.
Toni, when you play that video again,
Yeah.
cut off your own personal video, so that you are not
Okay.
going to compete
Okay.
with the.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll do that. Good idea. Take off the bandwidth. Hang on a second, ladies.
Mhm.
Oh, I've been disabled again.
You're disabled? What do you mean? You mean I need to share?
I need sharing ability.
Okay.
It's funny because I'm all plugged in and
Okay,
not
you're
on
host
Wi-Fi.
now.
Thank you. All right, let's try that one more time. Here we go. Let's see. All right.
44 allied and associate countries arrived for the opening of the United Nations Monetary and Financial Conference.
Our story begins in 1944. With World War II coming to an end, the Allied nations met at Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, to create a new financial system which would stabilize the world once the war ended. With America poised to enter a golden age of prosperity, the US dollar was chosen as the world's reserve currency.
The Bretton Woods system was created after the Second World War at the Bretton Woods Conference in New Hampshire. And rather than using gold as the means of exchange between countries, as was the case under the old gold standard, the dollar was going to be used. The dollar was chosen because back then it was as good as gold.
Under this new system, countries agreed to fix their currencies to the US dollar, and the US dollar would be tied to gold at a price of $35 per ounce. This meant that countries around the world could trade their currencies for US dollars, which they could then exchange for gold. This created a system where all currencies were essentially backed by gold. To avoid the logistics of shipping physical gold across the world, when countries did exchange their currencies for gold, it was usually stored safely in the US.
Under the Bretton Woods system, you could exchange your currency or your dollars for gold. Now, it only applied to foreign countries and central banks. And we began to run budget deficits. We were running the Great Society program under Lyndon Johnson, and we were fighting a war in Vietnam. And all of a sudden, we were running these deficits, and countries were changing their dollars. And they said they wanted gold. And it began with the French, and then it started to spread.
With all the new spending programs in the United States, other countries became concerned that the US was spending more money than it had gold reserves. They started exchanging their dollars for gold and demanded physical delivery, as they felt that there were more dollars being printed than the gold that backed it. To prevent this outflow of gold from American vaults, President Nixon called for an emergency suspension of the gold convertibility system.
I have directed the Secretary of the Treasury to take the action necessary to defend the dollar against the speculators. I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve asset.
All of the problems that we see today in the monetary system are a direct result of the decision made in August 15th, 1971, to abandon fixed link back to gold. What gold did is it provided discipline on governments, provided discipline on government spending.
By removing the link between gold and the US dollar, President Nixon created a system where all currencies were backed by nothing. This is what is known as a fiat currency.
Fiat currency is currency that's backed by nothing except government promises. The word fiat is a Latin word, and it basically means currency that's circulating by force. If people have confidence in that currency, and if there's enough government force, that will enable the currency to circulate. People lose confidence in the currency.
There is no nation on this planet that currently uses money. We all use currency. there will come a day when everybody knows the difference.
Money is a medium of exchange, and the way it has evolved is that it's always something of intrinsic value until the modern age, when the politicians say, well, we don't need anything of intrinsic value anymore. All we need is political decree. We can say this is money, this piece of paper is money. Now money has a new characteristic, but underneath it all, there's the same concept in place that nobody ever seems to challenge, and that is that governments have a right to declare something of no value to be money, and you must accept it. That's really the problem, and it's still the problem today. It's destroying the economies of the world.
Hyperinflation may be one of several scenarios facing the world today. But history has shown us that whenever a nation tried to run its economy using an artificial fiat system, the end result is always the same: disaster.
There is a proven 100% failure rate. There is no exception to this. Fiat currencies always fail. And then 40 years ago, we tried this grand experiment where all the world's currencies became fiat at the same time, when we ended the Bretton Woods system.
The world is going to have to extricate itself from this monetary system based on the dollar, because if you want to back your currency, you have to back it with something. You can't back it with nothing. You know, I always think of that old Superman movie where the first one where Lois Lane, you know, she falls off the top of the building and Superman catches her. And he says, I got you. Don't worry, I got you. And she says, well, you got me. Who's got you? Well, that's the dollar. Who's got the dollar? It's not Superman. The dollar can't fly on its own. The dollar used to be backed by gold. It was gold that had the dollar. It's like everybody has tethered their ships to the Titanic of currencies. And so we're all going to go down.
The government wants to sell you paper. So I would say it's the government and Wall Street.
Gold in the hands of people is the way you control government. Governments cannot create money out of thin air. If it's gold, they can only create paper out of thin air. And if they can create paper out of thin air, they can use that paper to wage wars, or they can use that paper as a political contrivance to enrich their friends. And as a consequence, governments have been fighting gold all century long.
It's not that the price of gold is going up. It's that the value of the dollar is going down. The price remains constant in terms of human effort and purchasing power. An ounce of gold today will buy the same thing it bought 2,000 years ago. An ounce of gold today is approximately takes so much human effort to get out and refine the same human effort that it took to do certain things 2,000 years ago. It's the human effort equation that maintains stability. How much effort does it take?
Gold is financial insurance. And the thing about it is you own it because you want to be protected. And, you know, you just have to have it if you want to have or sleep at night, because there's nothing else. You know, if some catastrophic event happens, and we've seen them, how are you going to be protected?
Kasia has a question.
Go ahead.
So Toni, my first question is because yesterday I was speaking to Zach about you know, this investing in gold and silver, and he said, "Well, I'm investing in stocks right now." Mm-hmm. And then I remember what my husband was showing me when we were talking about this gold and silver deal, and he pulled up, you know, some kind of you know, over so many years, 100 of years or whatever, you know, price of the gold. And then, you know, he's like, you know, giving me some reasons why this or that. So now I'm thinking, and I hope that you can fix my thinking or tell me I'm wrong or right, that even the price of gold, you know, was high and then went down, and then again right now is quite high compared to this, you know, long term, you know, comparison. But what those graphs, they are not showing that the purchasing value it's higher, right? Because you know that the price of the gold is one thing, but the purchasing value it's another thing, and that those graphs they don't show that purchasing value, and and how to because you know people are so stuck with agenda with banks and governments. They did great job to prepare us to save fiat, as we all know, and so my question is right now how to show the way that to really understand and unplug people from that you know very well coded way of us thinking.
That's a great question. It's exactly what the video said at the end. You have to go empower yourself. I mean, we have been really programmed to believe that currency is the way to save money. And it has no intrinsic value whatsoever. It's whatever the government says it's worth. And right now we're noticing it's not worth jack at all. So here's a good way of answering this. And I'll try to answer it as best I can. Everybody's going to do what they feel the most comfortable with. Okay. The fact is that people make financial decisions based on trusting somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't do an extra dig. They don't do the extra research. Remember my mom, the one with the bone, the one that just keeps going. All right. That's unusual. We tend to trust the people that we trust. But remember too, they only know what they know as well. Listen, I only know what I know until I dig a little bit further. Just like I had mentioned, I really believed in cryptocurrency. I still believe in some aspects of it, but not to the depth that I did. Because I started digging more and I started to see more things. The one thing that has always stayed constant is God's money. And it's never been proven wrong. And the one thing that has always been proven to fail 100%, 100% is fiat currency. And guess what's happening? We're in the middle of a shite storm right now, because guess what the world is saying about the petrodollar now? They no longer see value in the US dollar anymore, right? Russia has now gone gold back. It is not accepting petrodollars. China has gone gold back. They are no longer accepting petrodollars. India, they're all following suit. What do you think is happening to the US dollar? They are no longer in control. The world does not see the US dollar as the almighty leader anymore. Okay, it's exactly what the video says. Okay, we've been forced into believing. It's all about belief. As soon as people stop believing what they've been told, right, they're gonna pivot. And it's been proven over and over again. How many countries have been destroyed because of bad government decisions? And that's exactly what's happening right now. As soon as Nixon took the US dollar off of the gold back, and then the world followed along and said, okay, well, we believe in the US dollar, so we'll all accept it. He made a statement in that video. It says, we've taken the dollar off the gold back because of speculators. Actually, it's speculators who kept it in control. So basically Nixon lied. They needed that off the gold back because they needed to print more money, and they didn't want any more discipline on that. They wanted to just print away and do whatever they wanted. And hence why you see the charts now going boop, 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 all the way down.
You know, I need to share something with you. I have two nephews, and the funny story is that one of them at some point was buying golden coins. The other one was believing in Bitcoins, and he was mining Bitcoins from the kind of the very beginning of the journey of Bitcoin. And, you know, I remember those fights in the family between them. Like one was thinking, you know, gold is the thing. The other was thinking that the crypto is the thing. And then, you know, it came to this moment that this family kind of fought apart because of those two back in time. So when I was watching this happening, I was like, wow, this is interesting. Nobody is talking about investing in gold except my brother who passed away and one of my nephews. And then, but I was like, I was not thinking about, getting started either way at the time. And now I'm like thinking like, wow, actually neither of them was so wrong. But the key is what we are saying, to have a little bit everywhere, or as much in everything as you can. Thank you.
That's exactly right, Kasia. It's really about diversification. It's all about diversification. And whether it's in land, okay, in gold and silver, a little bit of crypto, stocks, mutual, whatever it is. Like, again, I'm not a financial advisor, I don't, everybody needs to do what they're comfortable with. But the one thing is you don't put all your eggs in one basket. But here's a very important question. How many of you have car insurance? How many of you have house insurance?
Renters.
Right? Okay. Why don't we have insurance for our finances?
Good point.
Because I can tell you, it ain't the bank. Okay. The only thing that protects your finances is gold and silver. So you need to have a little bit of it. So there's two ways to look at gold and silver. You can look at it as a defense. In this case, we need a defense right now because of the horrible government decisions that are being made. Okay. But another thing that people don't look at is gold and silver as an offense. And the wealthiest people in the world, for family literacy, okay, their family wealth, okay, they create wealth legacy. They create wealth legacy through gold and silver. Do you know, does anybody know the top 5 things that the wealthy invest in? The top 5? Okay. The number 1 is land. Rini knows about that. She knows all about land. Okay. Number 2 is fine art. Number 3 is rare coins. Number 4 is gold. And number 5 is precious metals. And the company that I'm with, 7K Metals, that's in our Noble Goldman, does 4 out of the 5. The fine art is our numismatics, and those are your best offense. And I was not going to do the numismatics, the offensive part. I was more interested in the whole protective thing, the bullion, the mints, the coins, and all that. But my numismatics, since I started collecting, collectibles are one of the highest exponential growth you can have is in collectibles. And my numismatics that I've been collecting since October have gone up 46% in 5 months. It's amazing. So, but to me, the number one thing that I've learned from being part of this company is the education. It's just blown my mind how much I didn't know and how much I didn't listen to my mom.
Toni,
yes, go ahead.
Lynn is asking for you to repeat the 5, those 5 things.
Okay, so number 1 is land. Number 2 is fine art. Number 3 is rare coins. Number 4 is gold. And number 5 is precious metals. So that would be like your silvers and your platinums and things like that. And so 7K Metals, the company that's trying to bring the education to the masses and to be able to buy, this is the first company where you can buy fractional amounts of gold and silver. They're really trying to educate people, and they do 4 out of the 5 because the numismatics that they're designing, the coin collection series that they're designing, the artwork is phenomenal. Like, it's just phenomenal. So it's just exploded right now. It's really becoming, people are waking up. People are waking up to the truth that they need to have a little bit of gold and silver. So congratulations, Val, for getting some gold and silver. It's so important. And you don't have to be rich to do this. You just need to get a little bit, just start off a little bit. I did in my membership that I have with 7K, I actually bought a penny worth of silver. See if it would work, and it worked. It was awesome. I mean, you don't get to do that. You don't get to walk into the store and go, oh, I'll take a penny's worth, please. And I really look forward to sharing more of that with all of you. Does anybody, Does that
I
help?
just, yeah, it
Okay.
helps a lot. I just want to make a comment. I think you guys are right about diversification. I think the key to investing is diversification. I always invested since I was very young, started with real estate, stocks and that kind of thing. And now crypto. My father owned a jewelry store, so I'm very familiar with gold and silver and that kind of thing, mostly gold. But anyway, I know crypto, I'm very much into crypto. Crypto is very new, as far as like it's a very, very early stage, and I think it is the future of money. It is part of investment in the future, but like Tony said, it's very volatile. So unless you understand what you're doing, just be careful. Gold and silver are much more conservative, safer approach if you're not actively participating. I like crypto just because I like Chris, and I do, but I study it and I know, but it is very, very early at this point and still very speculative, even though it does have the potential in the future. So Kasia, go ahead. Go ahead. Tony, you were going to say something, and then Kasia.
Yeah, I was just going to say you're spot on, Rini. Diversification is key. Cryptocurrency, people put down cryptocurrency, but the fact of the matter is blockchain technology is very fascinating. It really is about decentralization. Okay, going away from centralized to decentralized. But cryptocurrency, what people don't understand is that it's about attaching a monetary value to the blockchain. So you've just got to know which blockchain are you attaching yourself to. So if you're attaching yourself to a blockchain that has utility, then it's very powerful. Okay. But where the big money comes in is that you're just kind of throwing darts at the odd thing that just what we call pumps. And sometimes you get lucky and sometimes you don't. And that works out to be about 2 out of 10. So like Rini says, there are like the one that Christos is in, that's a very solid blockchain that has extreme potential. And that comes from people who do the research of who's behind it. And that's the thing. And because it's so new, we're still learning the ins and outs of all those players and exactly how it all works and getting the education out to the masses. So it does take time, but it is powerful. And it is important to have a little bit because it is a part of the future, because we are on this and we will be exchanging. The only thing that scares me about digital assets is that I get concerned of who's got their finger on the power plug. That's the only thing that I get concerned about. Nobody's got their finger on this except me. And I'm okay with that. So this is why it's good to be diversified, to have a little bit of everything. Never ever put your eggs into one basket. If I had to give any kind of advice, and this is as a friend, don't put them all into one basket. Do a little bit of everything. That's just what I recommend.
Thank you for that. Kasia?
So what I wanted to add is something about TV shows. It's interesting. I remember last year I watched the show on Netflix about Haystack. It was a Spanish movie, and it's a it's few seasons long. And it's interesting that we actually were exposed to gold knowledge, and it's always because some people want to rob banks from gold to become free. And that's the message from those movies.
Yeah, in the past, that's true.
You've always got the most interesting perspectives, Kasia.
Jane, okay. To answer, thank you, Kasia. Jane, to answer your question about the blockchain, crypto, the only one that is a store of value is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the only one that doesn't have any utility. Basically, it's almost like money. It's a store of value because crypto is basically, it's a technology, like Tony was saying, it's a decentralized technology through these blockchains. Basically, it's a whole bunch of computer network. It's a computer network that operate, that you can transfer money peer-to-peer exchange without the government intervention. So you basically, if you have the address, you can send money from Tony to Jane to Rini to Val to whoever you want to send without going through the central bank. So government doesn't have any piece on the pie for now. US will be regulating this for tax purposes and whatnot. But a lot of the other coins other than Bitcoin is called altcoin. It's alternative coins. And normally you want, before you buy any of those coins, you have to research. There is a project attached to it. There's utility. Many of them, like the Ethereum is the next one next to Bitcoin. And Ethereum is it has this smart contract where allows people to have basically an agreement where you can stake your coin and get 12% interest rate. That's what I'm getting right now, annually, or even you can even stake your stable coin, which is they have money, what they call the ether money, digital money, but it's really pegged to the dollar, US dollar, that they call it stable coin. If you put it in this smart contract, then you can get 12% interest. Just put money in there without changing it into crypto. So this project and it's basically application on the network. A lot of application has come up, for example, Polygon or some other ones that are trying to make this transaction faster, to make it's just like right now you use your smartphone and you download different apps. Each app has a different function and you're willing to pay a little bit for a different app, this app, that app. The same thing with this altcoin is they have like this large cap, probably there's like 10,000 Bitcoin crypto at this point. I know 2 years ago it was over 5,000, probably 10,000 now. I only invest normally in the larger cap because that's more safe, but it takes a lot of research, but that's what it is. So, I know this is not a crypto conversation. Maybe I'll do a mastermind on crypto 101. So just for knowledge purposes. Toni?
I was just going to say that, yeah, there's so much to learn into the whole crypto world. It's unbelievable. But when you talked about the addresses, the wallets, the company that we're now doing the gold and silver with, 7K Metals, we can transfer for free instantly gold and silver between the members. So I can now pay people in gold and silver instantly in any denomination. How cool is that? And it's free. Yeah, just instant. So if you have a wallet in the company and you're holding any kind of gold and silver, I can instantly just go in there, put in your username and just instantly transfer you gold or silver. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very similar to crypto because basically you have digital gold, it's digital asset. You can buy gold, you can buy silver, but it's and do all this transfer. It's very similar.
The difference is that what we're transferring is actually this. So this piece, depending on, let's just say I sent you a whole 1 ounce. I want to send you a whole 1 ounce. This whole piece will be transferred into your name inside their vault. So you are physically getting this. It's not digital. You are physically getting this piece that comes off my books and onto your books. So then this can actually be sent to you from the company. It would actually get delivered to you, right? That's a big deal because this is what you take to the store, right? To buy your goods and services. And by the way, you would be amazed how many people who are private owners, okay, of goods and services will accept these very happily, by the way, because they know this has got a lot more value. So there's only one money in the world, and that's gold and silver. The rest is just currency. So at the moment, we're still dealing in a digital world. We're still a little bit into the fiat, but it is changing. And if you've been keeping up on the news, Mike Maloney, who was in the video, he just did, there was another video he just put out, an interview where they were covering everything that had taken place with Putin and with China. And you're going to see a drastic change here very, very shortly. our dollar, the US dollar and the fiat and some of the other currencies in the world that have been destroyed. I won't say all the different countries, but they are going to start rising up. So keep your eyes tuned because it's going to be a very interesting ride over the next few months. Maybe even sooner. We shall see. But I thank you so much for letting me share. And if you have any questions, I do my own gold. I call it the Gold Rush Mastermind. And I just changed it recently because Mark changed his call. I was doing it at 12 o'clock EST on Friday, but I've since changed it. And it's I'm now doing 3:30 EST. Is that 3? No, 3. Sorry, 3 o'clock EST. So 12 o'clock PST. That's right, Kasia? 12 o'clock PST, right?
Yes. Is that on Friday? What day
that's
is
tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow.
And it's gonna be 8 p.m. of the UK time. So
correct.
2000s.
Yeah, because they finally did their daylight saving shift, didn't they? I think they finally shifted. Yeah.
We only have 2
Why
more
did they
minutes.
do that? I don't like that time change stuff.
No, we're almost at the top of the hours. Any other questions? I know Val is going to be inviting her financial coach to do financial literacy on, I can't remember, it's in May.
May 19th.
May 19th.
We got time.
So, yeah, I think in the near future,
we got
maybe
the whole month of April to pass. And
yeah, I think
there
I'll
was
do.
one more thing.
Go ahead.
There was one more thing that I believe we can found our wallets in 7Ks with Bitcoin as well, right?
Yes, you can also fund. You can buy your gold and silver with I believe 9 different digital assets.
Oh, 9.
Yeah, I think there's about 9 of them, 8 or 9 of them. So you can use 8 or 9 different digital assets to convert into gold and silver in the 7K Sound Money wallet. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually very important.
Yeah, I think Toni has her mastermind listing in the on the Noble Goldman side. Toni, if you know, or you can get together with Toni to find out more about her mastermind tomorrow. She can send you the information. But this has been very educational. And I think, you know, like this, like I said before, this platform is really a collaboration project with a different host each week. So we are learning from each other and growing together. So if any of you are interested in hosting a future mastermind, just let me know. You know, message me and let me know. But so next week, mastermind would be Kim Riley by Kim Riley. It's about the feminine presence. So that's the topic for next week. But anybody else for last minute? Thank you so much, Toni. So appreciate your yeah, having you as a host here, and it's very educational. Any other last minute questions or anything? Okay, if not,
I also do. I also have you can go also if you're not in NG, because I know we're all in NG, but just in case, I do have the Gold Rush Mastermind Facebook group. It's just a public group, and I do post stuff in there as well. And I also post the links for the mastermind in there sometimes as well too. So
sounds good.
And you can tag your people there that are interested. It's a lot easier that way because not everybody's at Noble Goldman. So
that's true. Yeah. Thank you again, Toni, and everyone who come on this call. Thank you, everyone. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Hi, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.